Hey YouTube, what's going on? Hey, welcome back to the channel. This channel is There Has to Be Something More. Uh, Today I'm going to do a little video on how much savings do you actually have to move abroad. If you're looking for paradise on a budget, you're looking for a low cost of living with a high quality of life, you probably made it to the right channel. And please take a minute to like and subscribe if you get something out of this video. Sure do appreciate it. Had a video, we're up to about 580 something, 590 subscribers. Now, 3 or 4 days ago, I did a video on inflation. There was 2,200 and something views, which means that a lot of people are not subscribing. So please take a minute to like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel. We appreciate it. Just for those of you who haven't been here before, my wife Lydia and I are slow traveling to a lot of different countries, probably primarily in Latin America, but we may venture off to parts of Europe. We may venture off to Southeast Asia, which we've been to before. We are slow traveling. This is not a channel where we're somewhere for a couple of weeks and we're in the honeymoon phase and everything seems wonderful. No, we are staying for 6 months, a year in these different countries. We're going to show you what the life is like, the daily grind once you get past that honeymoon phase, because that's what's really important. Going on vacation, I don't remember too many places that I went that I didn't think, wow, this place is wonderful. But you weren't there long enough to really feel what just the daily grind is like. So we were in Nicaragua for 11 months. First, it's my wife's home country. My mother-in-law was very elderly and did pass away in January, but my wife got to spend a lot of time with her because we were there first. So originally the game plan was to go to Mexico first and just very slowly go all the way to Argentina. But last minute we kind of decided to head to Nicaragua. Lydia got to be at her mom's 90th birthday party and spend a lot of time with her, so that worked out well. But that's what this channel is basically about. It was started as just a way for our kids and grandkids to follow us along on our adventures. But we are slow traveling in search of the place that we feel like is the best retirement destination for us. And we'll point out the likes and dislikes, our own personal opinions, what we think is great, you might not. So, but we'll try to, give you enough information so you can make a pretty good decision along the way. This video is about how much savings do I really need before I can say, okay, that's enough. It's time to go, time to hit the road. I want to get out of here. I want to get off the hamster wheel of the US. I want to get out of this daily grind, the Groundhog Day of waking up, going to work, coming home, having some dinner, going to sleep, and doing it all over again for years and years and years, just so that you can, every once in a while, 2 weeks out of the year, go on a vacation somewhere. So let me start by saying I'm not giving financial advice. I did that for 37 years, and I'm not doing it here. I don't know you or your financial situation. So this is just our opinion and how things have worked for us. So again, not giving anybody financial advice, but just giving you some food for thought, some things to think about. So so far, again, we have been in Nicaragua for 11 months. We've now been in Guatemala for 6 months. I can already tell you, just as like our rating or whatever you might want to call it, for us, Nicaragua, we have kind of crossed Nicaragua off the list of possible retirement spots. We will not be going back there to retire. Once we finish our slow travel, or we get to the point where we're like, okay, we've seen enough, we've picked our spot, we might pick our top 2 or 3 spots. But Nicaragua is not on the list anymore as far as a possible long term. It was just number one reason. You can go back and see all my Nicaragua videos. But the number one reason was, even up in the mountains, it's just too hot for us. We just could not take the heat and humidity. Guatemala, absolutely. After being here for 6 months, I can tell you it absolutely is on the list of possible places. So I could retire here easily and be very, very happy. Are there better places, places that I'll like even more? We're going to find out. But it's really nice knowing that, hey, as a worst case scenario, I would be very, very happy retiring here in Xela. This is Quetzaltenango, Guatemala. It's the second largest city in Guatemala. It's also known as Xela. So, that's kind of where we are so far. Next stop could be Mexico. I don't know. Next, Mexico, the cost of living's gone up quite a bit. Could be Argentina. We may go ahead and just take the long flight all the way down there. There's lots of cities down there we want to investigate. So, getting to the meat of the video. How much do you need to retire abroad? Well, and I apologize, I may be glancing down at my notes from time to time. It's just I scratched out a bunch of thoughts, and I don't want to forget anything. How much you need as far as savings could be not very much at all, or it could be a ton, and it depends on a lot of things. So the first part is, where are you moving? That is a big difference. It depends, how much the cost of living is going to be. Depends how much it costs to get there. So if I'm retiring, let's say in Thailand, well, I'm going to need an expensive airplane ticket. Now, Thailand's very inexpensive. Once you get there, you're not going to spend a lot of money. But second question would be, how much does it cost me to get everything set up? I'm going to have to rent an apartment. I'm going to have to, maybe I have to buy some furniture. Am I going to buy a car? All those kind of things. Am I going to buy a refrigerator, stove, appliances? I would say, as far as the car part, Lydia and I are super happy not having a car. We don't want to deal with buying the car, repairing the car insurance, getting gasoline. Most of the places that we're going are very inexpensive for public transportation and even taxis. So it's just way too easy to walk out on the street, flag down a taxi, and for $2, $3, $4 you get wherever you want to go. I mean, you can do that 50 times a month if you want to, and still not be up to close to a car payment. So we are very, very happy not having a car. So part of it is, where are you going? How much does it cost to get there? How much is the setup going to be? Buying all of the, I apologize, I'm up on the roof of our little apartment here in Guatemala, and I've got all of my dogs up here, so they're kind of walking around enjoying being up here on the roof. So, is it going to cost you 10 grand between an airplane ticket and buying a bunch of stuff? Now, most of these places you can buy furnished, you can get a furnished apartment. The apartment, the longer term you sign up for, generally the cheaper it's going to be. I mean, if you get an Airbnb for a month compared to an apartment for a year, it is going to be, the Airbnb is going to be way more expensive. So, you've got to kind of weigh things. Do I want to do a 6-month lease? Do I want to do a 1-year lease? The longer the lease, in general, it gets just much, much cheaper as you get a longer and longer lease. Are you going to travel? Are you going to move and stay? Are you 100% sure you're going to the country where you're going to love it and you're going to stay there? I would encourage everybody to always have a plan B and a plan C. So, Lydia and I kind of feel like we'd like to have at least 3 places where we think, wow, we could be very, very happy in these 3 places. Because the last thing we want to do, we do not want to move back to the U.S. Too expensive. It's not exciting. It's just not what we want to do with our retirement. So we want to have plan A, plan B, plan C. Some of these countries, governments change, things change. 3, 4 years down the road, who knows? Maybe you just, grow tired of it, or certain things bother you about it. But have a plan B, plan C, so you don't have to go back to the US or Canada or your home country. But once you get settled in, again, the longer the rent, the cheaper it's going to be, almost always. Now let me give you an example of, okay, in the US, the average Social Security check now is just slightly under $1,900 a month. So I don't know if you're old enough to get Social Security. I don't know if you're getting it yet. That's a whole nother topic of conversation of when do you start taking your Social Security at 62, 65, 67, 70. But the average check as of February of 2024 was $1,862. If that's incorrect, please comment down below and let me know. But the cost of living with no budgeting at all here and in Nicaragua have been very, very close. Maybe a tad more here, but really, really close in numbers. Here in Xela, the weather is perfect. It runs around 70 every day for the high, around 50 for the low. Nobody has heat, nobody has air conditioning. It's just always really, really nice here. So that's a big savings, that you don't have to pay a big electric bill. But with no budgeting at all, doing anything we want to do, Lydia and I seem to always spend somewhere around $1,100 or $1,200 a month. Now, we have 2 dogs, and at least temporarily, we have a puppy, a street dog we pulled off the street that we're trying to find a home for. So that runs us somewhere between $200 and $300 a month for the dog. So if you don't have pets, you can kind of take that off the list. This also does not include things like, and I'm going to touch on this a little bit later, but medical, dental. We'll kind of touch a little bit on that. Not going to go into a lot of detail, but so without the healthcare expenses in here, and without medical, dental, or pets, we spend about $1,100, $1,200 a month. So let's say with the dogs, we spend $1,400, $1,500. Let's just say for a round number, we spend $1,500 a month. Well, if we've got one average Social Security check, not 2 as a couple, just one, we'd be putting $362 a month in savings. So not some huge savings amount, but we do anything we want to do, and we still have money that we're dropping in savings every month. Now, that's the average Social Security check. That's not going to be the same as yours. Yours might be lower or higher, but that just kind of gives you an idea. Now, if you're a couple, and you're getting 2 average Social Security checks, that's $3,724 a month. I don't know. I mean, I guess we could find a way to spend that much every month. It'd be a struggle. I mean, I don't know. You could find there's $1 million homes here, so I guess you could get some giant home somewhere, and maybe, I don't know, maybe spend $2,000 a month on some gigantic home with housekeepers and maids and gardeners and cooks. But it would be a struggle. I mean, for us, if we had the 2 average Social Security checks, we'd be putting $2,224 in savings every month. Now, again, you can figure in travel and things like that. Until you're a resident here, there's going to be a couple of expenses for you, because you're going to have to do an extension after you're going to come here, you're going to get 90 days, then you're going to have to do an extension. That's going to cost you $90 to $100 about. That's what we have encountered. You may get it a little more, a little less, but about $90. Now you have to do that when it's time for your extension. Right before you're here for 6 months, you're going to have to do a border run. That has cost us, we've done it one time, that cost us a little under $200 for the whole thing. And so, again, for one person, it'd be about $90. You're going to take a day, you're going to leave the country, you're going to go to, run up to Mexico, cross the border, etc. So, those are a couple little things, but very, very small. So if you want to, you can add $50 or $100 onto your monthly budget, but very, very small expenses. Here's kind of the cool part. So you move here. Let's say it costs you $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 to get everything set up. You've got your security deposit on your house. Maybe you bought a couple pieces of furniture. After that, I mean, if you've got a pension or an average Social Security check, if you're, again, for Lydia and I, it's $1,100 or $1,200 for two people doing anything we want to do. So, if you're a single person living here, $1,000 would be, I probably could live here on $700, $800 a month. But all the money that you have in savings and in your retirement accounts especially. So let's say you've got some emergency funds, you've got a little bit of money in there, that gets you over here. But then the really exciting part, or one of the exciting parts to us, was what about all of our retirement accounts, 401ks, 403bs, IRAs. Well, these days, depending on your age, you don't have to start pulling money out of those accounts until you're 72 or 73 years old, and that trend keeps going higher. It used to, for a long time, it was 70 and a half is when you had to start taking the required minimum distributions. So, if you've got your money invested, you can just let that money in the retirement account sit there and grow and grow and grow and grow, as opposed to, oh, I'm in the US, I retired, I need every penny I can get, I need my whole Social Security check, I need to start taking an income, so I'm probably going to be reducing the amount that's in my retirement accounts every single month after month after month. So I'm going to see that slowly going down. I mean, it's a big difference. And so for us, that's just awesome. We get to just let our money sit there and grow and grow and grow. Couple things let me touch on real quickly. Like, first of all, if you're retiring in the U.S., this is a whole different ballgame. It would require a much different video. So this is not for people who are retiring in the U.S. or Canada, or a big world-class probably isn't the description I should have used, but a first world country is, I guess, what we'd call it. If you're going to live in Paris or somewhere, it's a completely different video. Healthcare, and this will kind of be the last thing I'll touch on, is different in every single country. Most of the countries that we're going to have a couple different types of healthcare. They have public and they have private. Public, like here in Guatemala, even if you're a tourist, you get free healthcare. Is it the best healthcare? Nope, it's not. Kind of one of those things where kind of you get what you pay for. So if anything happens to us, we can go and get healthcare for free. We can also get private healthcare. Now, is the private healthcare good? Yep, it's pretty good here. There are some really good hospitals. The one everybody seems to say is the best here in Xela is called La Paz, the Peace, and it's, has a lot of very good, excellent doctors. Lots of them apparently speak English. We haven't had that problem. I mean, Lydia and I, one of our things that we enjoy doing here is we love to walk. We joined the 10,000 steps a day group, so we're getting in our 10,000 steps every day. We go to the gym, 4 or 5 times a week. So, so far we have just paid out of pocket, and you just kind of hope something really, really terrible doesn't happen. You don't want to need heart surgery or cancer or something like that. But if you do, you can always go to the public hospital, or you can dip into savings or retirement. So that's a whole nother video. but usually you are covered by the public health care at the very least. And for us, it's like, if we have a broken arm or something fairly small, we just pay out of pocket. It doesn't cost very much here. You can go to a private doctor. Exams like annual physicals, things like that are very, very inexpensive. Lydia's had a bunch of dental work done here. I'm going to probably do some next year. The dental is every bit as good as it is in the US. Now it depends on the dentist, but we go to one in, like here, there's 3 big modern malls. In one of the malls, our dentist is up on the 3rd floor. It's this beautiful, very high-tech dental area. And so we can go there and get dental that's every bit as good or even better than our dentist in the US. So that being said, how much do you need to retire and move abroad? It really a lot depends on who you are, where you're going. Are you going to get a furnished place while you're there? Maybe buy stuff slowly here and there. But I hope that does answer a few questions for you. For us, the answer was it just did not take very much money to move somewhere and get settled in. We're very comfortable here. We've got a furnished place, although we've bought a lot of stuff. But I would say do your research. If you have questions, please comment down below. I try to answer every single question that comes across. But you may need very, very little to get out of the rat race and start your retirement and start really enjoying your life. Do what you want to do on your time. Go where you're treated the best, and really start enjoying, whether it's retirement or you just want to go somewhere and work online. But if I can help at all, please let me know. Try to help you get off that US hamster wheel and start enjoying your life. But if you need an adventure, remember, there has to be something more.